It's a nigga named Queenzflip, some New York nigga. It's a prank nigga, some shit like that, or whatever you do. He on the podcast now with Joe Budden. Apparently, Joe came on my podcast. He was talking about the list. There's a list of media personalities that came out. Which, by the way, it's so crazy. Apparently, Complex is putting the list together. Like, I don't know what about lists that suckers us into caring, dog. Like, I don't know. Somebody said Drake is Jew. He's standing up for his religion. You ain't hear Kanye say he loves Jewish people now? Kanye love Jews now. Yeah, he hated them last year, but this year he loves Jews. Stop playing, man. Come on, leave that nigga alone. So now everybody's talking about like this. There's a media personality list coming out. I'm telling you off rip. Like, this is my opinion. If we ain't top 3, fuck the publication. If we top 3, it's legit. That's just how it goes. Like, bruh, when you be doing your shit, like, if you rank me high, good. If you don't rank me high, fuck you, nigga. Like, it's like them award shows that never, like, nominate me for, like, best platform. All right, your award show is trash. Fuck it. Anyway, I think this is Queenzflip talking about it, possibly, or he's on the Joe Budden podcast. Let me hear what they got to say.
Look, nigga, we number 1. Don't come here trying to play like we not number 1. We number 1.
Wait, are you talking about personality or podcast? He said we.
We number 1.
All right.
Huh?
All
Stop
right.
playing
Hold
like
up,
you don't
man.
acknowledge we number 1. We taking a big, wet diarrhea shit on you niggas, nigga. We number 1. JBP. Huh? Bionic 6.
But we been them.
I was about to tell him.
Yeah.
No, I saw it, nigga.
Oh, they talking about podcasts. Okay.
I wanted to be acknowledged while I'm up here. Hold up. Nigga, we number...
Oh, they are number 1. Yeah, Joe Budden do got the best podcast. Joe Budden for the last 5 years has kept number 1 spot podcast-wise. Sorry. The reason why I'm also gonna I'm giving it up to him because I love $1 Million Worth of Game, and I definitely love Drink Champs. They do it without any guests, and that is the toughest way to do it. Even though they do have a cast of about 4 or 5 people, it's tough to do it like that. So them saying they're number 1, and when they said podcast, it did say music podcast. Yeah, I say music podcast. By the way, they also show the Apple charts. But I think the Apple charts is kind of relevant. So, hey, congrats to them. Not a hater. I think Joe's podcast has been pretty good recently, so can't knock it. Cannot knock it. Somebody said, Joe Rogan isn't music. Somebody said Ice and Ish is boring as fuck. Cap. Ice and Ish are very good. Very great. Like, I like both of them. Both of them, they're not Rory and Mealy Mall. They're not just hanging under the shade of Joe Budden's opinions and trying to, like, dance in his, like, he has some credibility, so let's just back off of that. No. Or not back off, but, like, piggyback off of that. Ice and Ish is probably one of the I really like him in terms of a debate technical type of situation with anybody in the game in terms of like music podcasts. I think he's really good. Like when I went to do Joe Budden's podcast the very first time, I was definitely anticipating a back and forth with him because I know he's a guy who does some of what I do and some of like, I get funny, I get whatever, but then sometimes I get technical. He does that. So Ish is amazing. Ice, he represents a certain era. Who don't know, like, officially Ice from Twitter? Like, that nigga's a Twitter OG. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I pulled up in there, I thought he would probably like me because he's a Twitter nigga. And Twitter niggas usually never like me. But, it was all good vibes with them. I think both of them are great. Queenzflip, they added him. I think that's good, too. Queenzflip is like, he's like a wild card jokester type nigga, man. And like, he's like his own entertainment in himself. And then Joe don't have to be screaming as much. Joe still wants to just be the boss, right? So Joe don't got to be screaming as much. Joe knows how to play the parts. Okay, it's debate time. This is a Ish type of thing. It's cultural shit. Yo, Ice, where you at? Yo, let's get ridiculous with him. Yo, Queenzflip. I think he has a good lineup over there, and I think Joe's doing a good job of managing the roster finally. Okay? I like that. All right. We moving, people. Fuck. Moving through these goddamn topics. Where my goddamn phone at? Oh yeah. So people, yeah. For the people who are saying like community and back on Fig, so here's the thing, right? We should probably also think about what the format of these things are, right? And y'all tell me, I could be wrong on this. Like, I'm just openly speaking. Me doing this now, this is not a podcast. This is not a podcast. This is a live stream. And a live stream is more of like, I try to do it in more of a comedic sense where it's more like improv. But a live stream to me is just not a podcast traditionally. Now, could it be seen as one? If I wasn't in contract with Spotify, re-uploads of probably this stream would be a podcast officially, like, under the brand. Number one, it can be. But number two, I don't see it like that. And, me and my attorneys, we have delegated that this is not a podcast. So what I'm doing here is not a podcast. This is a live stream. And that's when I ask you guys, what community does and what Back on Fig does, do you compare it necessarily to the Joe Budden podcast, $1 million worth of game, Drink Champs, right? And the sorts like that, even Math Hoffa's thing? Or do you say it's a live stream that is regurgitated in podcast format? Still give it the credit. Right? Still give it the credit because, like, I don't know who shut it. I don't know if y'all know, when I started on Spotify, there was a podcast that was putting up the Twitch streams, or someone who was managing a podcast that was putting up the Twitch streams. Like these Twitch streams, they were putting up the podcast of it. I'm pretty sure Spotify saw it. I don't know if they shut it down or the person just stopped. I'm pretty sure they would have shut it down. Like, legally, they have the right to shut it down. It wasn't me putting it up, obviously. But I remember I looked on Apple one time and the show was top 10. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not even uploading some shit. And this is a stream not intended to be a podcast, but it's top 10, right? So again, I guess, like, when I'm asking about like podcasts, I'm asking what format do you see things in? Or here's the bigger discussion. Do these formats even matter anymore? Is any conversation really just a podcast? Whether it's an interview, whether it's an actual traditional podcast format, whether it's a live stream, whether it's a reaction. Is everything podcast? That's a good question that, we should probably get to, because I don't view what I do here as a podcast. First of all, if I view what I did here as a podcast, I would say nobody fucks with me, period. But none of these niggas really do live streams, and I don't think nobody fucks with me on live stream, period. But I respect podcasting in its origin format, and maybe that's just me be on some traditional shit. But when I look at community, I look at it as a dope live stream that has playback in podcast format. And it shows how popular the live stream is when people do play back a lot in podcast format. But I don't compare community to Joe Budden podcast. I don't compare Back on Fig to Joe Budden podcast. And I do like both platforms. It's just that I look at Joe Budden platform, just like I look at Off the Record. I'm like, Off the Record, I got to come different than I do here, right? I hope you guys understand that. That's not hating. That's just me being honest. Okay. All right. Let's keep this shit moving. Y'all want to hear about when Meg snitched on me, bro? We're going to get to it. People. So Meg snitched on me. There's a few things we got. This is a lot of snitching going on. Hey, chat. Y'all ready to talk about snitching? Somebody said it's harder to live stream. Yeah, no, okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. I believe live streaming is the hardest art. This here is harder than any other. I think doing a podcast is way easier than live streaming. What? By the way, even salute to my boy Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz said, the mere fact you could sit there and command people's attention for 5 fucking hours, that's crazy. That's crazy, my nigga. So I think this is the hardest right? But I don't like the art of a traditional podcast is still amazing, right? Anyway. Somebody said, yeah, MK, of course I'm reading YouTube comments. Somebody said Corey Holcomb 5150. Salute to Corey Holcomb. I kind of do want to get him on the podcast, yo. Kai Snat's the best live streamer? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when I'm saying I'm the best at live shit, I'm talking about culturally. Like, and I know I didn't include Kai in that, even though he is cultural. I'm just talking about like hip hop type of shit. Kai is definitely the best live streamer. Best. I be watching that nigga and be like, look at the energy he got. Look at the dedication. Look at the effort he's putting in. Like, yo, he's going crazy. That's good. Somebody said I'm better than Kai. Nah. Nah. Kai's a different level. And what I mean by a different level, I say this. If it just comes to talking, of course I think I'm better than Kai, right? Like, if it's just talking like and being entertaining. Kai puts way more effort than I've ever thought to put in live streaming. Like, Kai rented, like, if you don't know about a streamathon, I'll give you some of the details I allegedly heard, or I heard really. Kai spent $200,000 for a month in a LA mansion, spent another $150,000 on production for the entire month. $150,000 or maybe another $200,000. I forgot what the cost is. Spent that amount for production. Every room, everybody hooked up with wireless mic sound, amazing shit, producers, camera operators, like super top tier technical shit. Spending $500,000 to stream for a month straight and streaming for a month straight, even showing when you're taking a shower on stream, bro, that's a different level. Like, bro, that nigga's on a different level. Like, that's, like, yeah, I come on here and I try to be as entertaining as I could be, telling jokes, giving stories, giving my takes. But that is, like, a different fucking level. We gotta, that's hats off. You see that shit, you're like, yo, wow. The nigga made a whole reality show out of streaming. That's some Kanye shit, obviously, if we're comparing Kanye to some streamer shit. Right? Oh, everybody's coming on here entertaining. One nigga just makes a whole reality show out of it. Oh, that's like Kanye shit. What the fuck? Anyway. Yeah, no, he's really good. All right. Cool. I think we kind of wrapped that up. We should probably, let's get into some